Alright, do our little check. Oakley dokley, girls and blokleys. It sounds like we're good. Hello and good evening. It is a boy named Sue coming at you live straight from Baked Potato. Doing another chill stream tonight. Got home late. Wasn't feeling the horror stream. Again, you kind of have to have a certain energy level for those. So, at least I do. So we're jumping up back into the chill stream tonight. We'll do a couple hours of Disco Elysium instead. We had just failed getting the body down last time. We missed the shot. So before we do anything, I'm gonna go ahead and break into the trash container over here and search that, and then maybe we'll talk to Kuno and see if he can't help us get the body down before we go to see the Union about it. But before that, it looks like we have some new things in our inventory. I guess it would just be this, huh? Lieutenant Kitsuragi snapped this photo of the hangman's tattoos. Displays the intricate web of blue lines stretching across his torso. You have to admit, it looks quite cool.
An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso of the hanged man, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time the lines intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks riddle his skin. Their concentration is highest around his heart. The pattern still kind of has an ethnic feel to it, but nothing familiar.
Who are you?
Gone.
What's the meaning of this tattoo?
For you to discover. You've gotten as far as you will without assistance.
Alright, put it away. I think that's all the items we had picked up that we hadn't read about. Yeah. Alright, let's break into this trash container.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, "Whirling in rags."
Really? Only 28%? Alright, let's do it. Force time. Jam the tool under the lid and pull. Do I have the pry bar equipped? Hold on. Yes, I do.
This
making
trash
sure.
container is locked. You stick the pry bar into the
Shit, we did it.
beneath the lid and push down. It doesn't take much force. With a satisfying crack, the metal gives way. You can open the lid now. Don't. Maybe you shouldn't.
What's
Just
this?
a feeling. A warning from some part of you.
Open
The
the lid.
smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
We're just in time. This hasn't been emptied for over a week.
Lieutenant peers in. Look under the boxes of
You
carton.
see milk, an egg rest with one broken egg in it, some pasta wrapper. Picking up the soggy packages somehow feels familiar. You've done this before. The movements are recorded in your elbows, the methodology in your fingers. You're used to this.
Used to what? Dumpster diving?
No, searching for evidence in the trash.
Dive further.
A box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic pasta packages below, and turbo noodles. Nothing of note, however.
Pick up the
Among the
rags.
threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. A pair of denim trousers. As
Grab
the
'em.
legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills the air.
The victim's clothes? Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they were removed when he was still in the early stages of decay. Drop them in here, officer.
Lieutenant produces a black plastic bag marked evidence from his pocket. Bag him up.
Guitar marked blue jeans. Pockets empty or emptied. He wore them with a belt, too. A white belt. The loops appear stretched, but
Lieutenant quickly searches the jeans and then looks in the
the
container.
belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there? I have another bag here.
Something slimy catches your eye.
Reach
A
for it.
drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping with pus.
Bag the
This
shirt.
is a military-type overgarment. No label or serial number. This is the kind of rib-knit shirt that's worn over light armor to conceal it in an urban scenario. Anything more?
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. A yellow old mug that catches your eye. But other than that,
Turnout towel, mug. That's all.
All right. We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one. I'd advise against confronting that force.
He nods towards the red-haired boy behind him. Yeah, we need to ask the kids who put him there.
The fuck's he on about? Kids? You hear that, Kuno? He thinks you're an infant or something.
The one behind the fence
See?
yells. You think someone from the Whirling Rags might have been involved, maybe?
Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash. The lid was locked, and his establishment had the key. It's just a small loose thread.
Okay.
the lieutenant nods, then looks back into the trash container.
Search the food
It's
waste.
just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Apple and potato peels, mostly. Unidentified sludge, and the occasional chicken bone thrown in for good measure. But hey, what's this? A
What?
blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Looks like the corner of something.
Pick it out.
Something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes, written in a man's handwriting.
Officer, is that your paperwork?
No, it can't
Yes,
be.
it is. Look. This plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form.
A miserable-looking slip of paper sticks to the board.
If you don't mind my asking, how could you have let your paperwork end up in the trash?
Must have been cramping my style.
Officer, this is an official piece of paperwork. It probably contains notes on numerous ongoing investigations, and could even list undercover operatives, informants. I suggest integrating it into your style, for all our sakes.
Easier said than done. How could this pathetic cabbage of copy paper and plastic ever become très disco?
I don't know, man. It sounds like an order, and I don't take those.
I see, yes. You are what we call a badass, aren't you?
He makes the little quotation marks around the words, indicating he is unsure of its actual badassery.
Tell me, does your badass see more in there, or are we done here?
The lieutenant peers into the trash.
Oh, yes, and it would also be appropriate to start taking notes on the case. It's what cops do.
Soggy cartons and rags look back at
Some
him.
items, such as the ledger you found, are interactable. Go to your inventory and select the Interact tab to read your paperwork.
The mug. I'm getting that mug, too.
You pick out a broken mug with an oddly racist depiction of the yellow man frolicking in saffron.
An
Only
antique?
in its social sensibility.
Take the mug. The lieutenant briefly glances at the mug, then returns his sight to the trash.
The
Close the
container
lid.
sounds a muffled gong.
That's one thing off the list. I think we got it all.
Lieutenant sounds relieved. Alright. Let's take a little look at what we picked up. This is the ledger you found in the trash. It's full of notes written in a man's dense cursive. Have a closer look. Maybe it can be salvaged to start keeping notes on the case?
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
Anything else?
There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? No, It's toilet paper, desperately sticking to the back of the blue plastic clipboard. It's a metaphor for you.
Inspect the toilet
It's
paper.
just toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if you want.
Maybe it's kitchen tissue? They look exactly the
If
same.
you want it to be kitchen tissue, it can be kitchen tissue. It's not, though. It's toilet paper.
Take it
Still
off.
wet, the toilet paper, I mean kitchen tissue, sorry, peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is shake it off your finger and voila, the ledger now looks marginally better.
Inspect the
An
clip.
aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached to the clip.
Run your finger across the
The
aluminum.
surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. You don't know how you didn't notice it before. Looks like an official mark, made to be low visibility outside the right circumstances.
Lieutenant, is this one of the hologram watermarks you mentioned?
What? Yes, halogen watermark used for adding information to RCM property.
He's lost in his own notes. It takes a moment for him to see it. Interesting. What kind of information?
It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and address. The information varies by date of issue.
Your kill count. Yours will surely have your kill count.
Weird. How can I read
Any
it?
capable light with the right wavelength will do.
Like, for
All
example...
RCM vehicles have headlights designed to reveal halogen watermarks. Mine too.
This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on.
Okay.
Ooh. He returns to his neatly kept
While a
notes.
bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand, it's a sorry sight.
Browse the white papers.
They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol, and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered, with faint red lines, forming short paragraphs. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
What's in there? What are they about?
Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate due to missing pages and an odd naming convention. But there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases undertaken, not completed, mind you. It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week on average. What do you mean? Is that all?
That's it?
The notebook is annual. It says 51 on what remains of its cover. A molten strap of cardboard. Everything prior to this must have belonged to a previous volume. In short, there was more. Judging by the creases on your forehead and the lines on your cheeks, too much more. Going back years, decades even.
Is 2 cases a week a good caseload, Lieutenant?
2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it, lest you start making mistakes.
2 cases a week appears to have been my load, Lieutenant. I'm not sure I completed them, though.
2? That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you are making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me.
I'm sure I made plenty of mistakes.
It's okay. We all make mistakes.
He nods, then turns back to his own case file.
Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
There was mention of a naming convention here?
Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. Yet, still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name.
Oh my, and they're written in capital letters too.
Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case. Others
More?
appear more light-hearted. The guys on a couch in an unexpected location, and the murder at the hookah parlor. Even the rare article-free collapsing tenement. Murder features prominently throughout. You like this grimy murdering, don't you? Wish there was one in there about a drug den. You love those. Gets the blood pumping. It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them up close.
Kim, my cases appear to employ some kind of naming convention.
You mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene?
No, I mean a non-numeric one with titles.
Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, so do I. In our defense, almost everyone in the RCM does.
Why
It's
is
a
that?
holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves.
I seem to have named a case the Square Bullet Hole Murders.
Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that, to amuse myself. I pray his loved ones never find out.
He smiles. What happened
Rail
to him?
spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident.
Count the pages. I have to open an official case. Is there room?
There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish.
Commit to
The
paper.
ledger only comes with an old, worn-down lead pencil. It will do, barely. But
Kim, do you have a
the
pen?
lieutenant looks at his blue notebook. 2 fat, shiny pens hang from the binder, like large caliber bullets on an ammo belt. He is not really saying anything, just standing there, looking at them.
Can I have one?
Know that I give this to you with resentment.
He pulls one from the loop. With this beauty, commit to paper.
The tasks you've completed flow out of the blue oblong pen in a brash freehand uncannily similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple. A language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect the victim's body. Get the body down. Interview the cafeteria manager.
Cross out the ones you've already
A
finished.
satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you, and you. And a fuck you to you too. That last one cuts a slash right through the paper. You're a swashbuckler with that pen, Harry, and it feels good. Feels like completion. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the citizens' militia. Now all that remains is to name the case.
Lieutenant, have you by any chance named our case?
No, actually. Any ideas?
Shit on a
Ah.
stick.
Yes. I have to tell you, officer, I don't appreciate ironic titles. Other officers will have to use this as reference. If it's idiot or cockfinger, they're not going to get it. They're going to think an idiot and a cockfinger were on this case. So, do you have something less funny?
The Furies are at home in the mirror.
Furies. Yes, well, I don't know. I have to be honest, I'm not experiencing the internal strife that it refers to. And also,
He furrows his brow. It's obvious he doesn't
could
like
you
it.
make it less poetic somehow? Just a normal case name, you know? Think, what would that be? A good normal name.
The setting sun.
Okay. It's a good name, but it has one problem. This case has nothing to do with the setting sun. At all. It has nothing to do with that, so... Something more concrete, perhaps? Do you have something concrete? Mundane, usual?
I don't have another name.
Well, then maybe I can suggest one.
Let me guess. The Hangman.
That's actually what I was thinking. The Hanged Man. I like that. A good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now. I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.
All right, I'm done inspecting these.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now.
Browse the yellow pages.
In the back, you see thin, translucent copier paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms, waiting to be filled out. Then rip them from the binder and hand them out, according to type of form.
What types of forms are there?
3. The topmost are misconduct fines, the middle ones are station calls, and the bottommost are field autopsy forms. Each is easy enough to make sense of.
Misconduct
A
fine?
monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. Severe cases allow for 1,000 real, but that requires special paperwork. The details of issuing these fines are spread out over the rest of the fields.
Station
These
call.
are quite sinister in tone. They give a date and time for the person to appear at the specified precinct police station. Below the call are the criminal charges you risk by not appearing. All in a print so small it could be considered downright cute.
Field
A
autopsy.
dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters of a deceased human form waiting to be filled in. Age, sex, condition of internal organs, color of the irises, predation marks, condition of sexual organs.
Enough of
Yes,
these.
all that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to people. Fines for wrongdoers, interview requests for bad guys, and field autopsies to dead guys. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest of the paperwork must have spared the fragile copier paper.
Look at the
It's
clipboard.
made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with. The edges are rounded, however. The U4 size board feels thick and heavy in your hand. Light shimmers on its wet surface. On the back you see the embossed letters, RCM.
Shake it.
Something rattles inside, ever so lightly. Is there a hidden compartment? And something small inside, light, made of paper or cardboard, or dried flowers perhaps?
Peek
The
inside.
plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it is not see-through. You cannot see to its center. There's pain in there, if you want some. That much you know.
How would I open
With
it?
your hands, U4-sized pages hang from the clip screwed to the top of the board.
Smell the
The
ledger.
acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. This base surrounded by a faint air of spoiled meat, the stuff of death itself, and then sprinkled liberally with the citrus zest of toilet cleaner. You know, like the bits they put into public piss bowls, probably called Fermi Discrete, or Axel, or something. At some point in its journey, the ledger has seen the inside of a public toilet.
Shut up, nose. I don't need your help. I don't need anyone's help.
Your nose does not understand what it did wrong.
Open the hidden compartment in the clipboard.
The two sides of the board appear slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off its slides. If you bend the plastic on your knee, slowly, the slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just, you know,
Slide the drawer open.
without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open.
What's
Two
inside?
ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
Pick up the
Two
stubs.
octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there, too.
Pick up the
Thin
card.
wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue.
Smell it
It
first.
smells of chewing gum, apricot flavored. A touch of cinnamon, the end of summer. You think the label says tutti frutti.
Open it.
Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped, round letters in a woman's hand. A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile, you think. Although that is not something you can read from someone's handwriting. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy.
Keep
Your
reading.
hand shakes, holding the card. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest, down Voyager Road. Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon, when I get off the 42 and walk back to you.
Keep reading.
You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul, and I will always, always, always come back to it.
Keep reading.
Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark. Small white dots appear. You feel the ledger slip from your hand. No, hold on. To
Hold on.
what? There's nothing.
Detective, is everything all right?
Fall sideways. Did we just... Really? Did we just die? What?
There is nothing. Again.
Nothing?
Nothing sad, brother. No treachery, just blackout.
Just lie there, passed out.
Well, almost nothing. There is the ground below you, that's still there. And the small light that's on, fluttering, somewhere in the basal ganglia.
Who's
That's
that?
me. Blue eyes, that's me.
And who was that?
Who was what?
He speaks of the sickening longing, the unwell emotion. Even in the darkness, he's grasping for it. Still trying to hold on to the great sorrows slipping in the water.
No, I was cool. I'm
The
cool.
cool when you're dead, brother.
Here in the paleo-mammalian cortex, we call it the shadow. Because it's always there.
Tell him.
Ah, yes. In the olfactory system, they call it the apricot chewing gum scented one. It's unhealthy of them to linger on it so. But as they say, what do you do?
It smelled so
It
nice.
didn't smell nice. It smelled like betrayal.
Was that the X something?
Bloated corpse of the past resurfacing.
Yeah, that.
Don't prod at it. It will start moving again.
Where's Voyager
There
Road?
is no Voyager Road. There are no roads, no houses, no lights in the windows. It's all on pause.
So my name appears to be
Your
Harry?
name is fuck all.
It certainly ain't Harry.
Then what is it?
Your name is passed out on the ground, dragged around by one of the other evil apes. They're taking you somewhere.
Enough. Just lie there
You
motionless.
think they would let you? Until you disintegrate into biomolecules? No. Someone is breathing on your face now, inspecting your pupils, stupid idiot.
What is that? It's cold.
Yes, they're pouring something on you. It's in you. And
It's delicious. Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness.
Where
In
am
the
I?
upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket, the air is thick with leatherworks and heavy fuel oil. Cold water runs down your chin.
Drink. Water.
Lieutenant is extending the small canister to your mouth. No, I don't
There is
want
no
it.
use arguing with me. You will die if you don't. Drink.
Drink.
The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself as it pours down your parched throat. The pounding in your head recedes. The darkness parts.
Drink. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone? You need a secondary form of hydration.
He tilts the canister.
With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water. Some of it spills on the driver's seat. The lieutenant pays no heed to it.
What happened?
I should ask you the
You were
same.
reading your paperwork. Then you passed out. I carried you to my kinema to take you to a hospital. Then you came to.
How long
10
was I out?
minutes, maybe.
I came into contact with the burnout ruins of the past, Lieutenant.
That does sometimes happen.
He hands you the remains of your
You
ledger.
dropped these. Are you okay to proceed?
Let's solve this case.
Good.
The Ledger of Failure and Hatred is a special item that can be used.
Well, I don't remember that happening the first time around. Okay. Blue pen like a large caliber bullet that shoots out ink once belonging to Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Comes with a side order of resentment. I guess we don't get a chance to,
It's
okay,
the
no,
ledger
never
you
mind.
found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawer inside. It's barely held together by a clip, then made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
Let's try to read these case files.
It's proving to be harder than expected. You just don't have the intellectual rigor to patch the quilt back together. Try again later.
Yeah, we're gonna try again later. I don't want to spend the point right now. Do we have thoughts that we can internalize? White morning, what is that? You see yourself from above. You're passed out on the blue tiles of the hostel room floor. Even from this distance, you can see your eyelids flutter. At the mention of what? A great white object, letting out its sweet smell, like a lily of the valley. Little man's forgotten its name, but he still remembers the feeling. And look, he moves. The feeling animates him. He instinctively reaches out for the feeling's best friend, a bottle of Commodore Red. He puts on his disco clothes and gets smaller and smaller. Okay, well, we definitely didn't get that one last time, I don't think, so let's just go ahead and internalize it. If I don't like the bonuses, we will, forget it later, you know? Okay. We're gonna talk to Kuno. Actually, before we talk to Kuno, there's a mug that we haven't interacted with.
It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not much.
Sorry, I didn't read the description. This broken-eared mug somehow made its way into the Whirling Rags dumpster. It depicts a person of Samaran descent, frolicking in a field of saffron flowers, buck-toothed and grinning feeble-mindedly. Seems to be a cheap knockoff of some colonial-era antique.
It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not much.
There's quite a lot to read into here, actually. Look at all the
Oh
content.
boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed-away mug that you dug out of the garbage?
This mug is an example of prejudice. I'm going to use it as an example of what not to do.
But it was in the trash. Why not just call it out when you see it? Or do some volunteering work? Just finish your case, detective.
Fuck does Kuno care?
Kuno, I found your shack.
You found Kuno's secret door to Kuno's secret shack. It was closed for 5,000 years. How the fuck did you get in?
I phase shifted through the roofing material.
Shit. Get the fuck out of here. You can't do that.
He can't do that, Kuno. He's trying to fuck at you again.
Pigs can't displace. Can't do that teleport shit.
He says to himself, then
How
turns
did
to
you
you.
like it in there, pig old boy? Kuno's got a lot of cool shit there, right?
What was with the pig
Oh,
head?
that? Kuno decapitates pigs. That's just a Kuno demo tape.
Cool pig head. I liked it. I got one too. This one. It's shit.
What?
What is this shit? Fucking on yourself. This is weird level shit. Kuno doesn't go there.
Fuck your shit back to normal. What is this?
I found a plate covered with powder residue. Know anything
That's
about
where
it?
Kuno gets his daily hit of electric. Kuno Shazam. Kuno rides the fucking lightning in there, pig.
Bet you'd like to ride the lightning too, wouldn't you? You feel tired and old, but you could have that sparkle in your eyes.
What's with the tube of Magnusol and
It's a
Kuno?
vitamin, pig. Don't you know anything?
He looks at you like you just pointed at the sun and asked what it was. It's magnesium, right?
Yeah, it's the mag. You fucking need that shit to stay on top of your game. Kuno goes through like a tube a day, rips mag like a motherfucker, and you could use a battle.
Oh, don't teach him, Kuno. He's gonna use it against you, Kuno.
I know all about magnesium. I rock it all the
You're not
time.
getting this, pig. It completely takes away the hangover. It's like you didn't do anything. Like you stayed home playing with your choo-choo.
He looks at you, eyes bulging.
Fuck you, pig. Don't do mag. You're gonna OD and you're gonna fucking die.
I've heard enough of
Good
this.
call, Pigmeister. Don't come and talk to Kuno about his kingdom. Oh, that? Too brutal for you, huh? Kuno, fuck your tongue off. Of course you want back
No.
in there. Good call, Pigmeister.
Okay.
Don't come and talk the fuck
I
about
want to
it.
discuss the body. Where's the rest of his
Kuno
armor?
doesn't give a shit about the armor.
How come?
Kuno's fuck gimp's got one big thing wrong with him. He's a fucking mutant.
A
Look
mutant?
at him. Fucking growth hormone shit. He's a giant. The armor's too big for any man. Kuno doesn't give a shit about that freak armor. Kuno threw that shit away.
Oh, come on. He's just pretending that he doesn't care because he's too small for the armor.
You're just too small for the
Get
armor.
the fuck out of here trying to fuck on me with that midget shit. Kuno's 12. He's huge.
He squints at
What
you.
are you? Fucking 80. When Kuno's 80, Kuno can fit 4 of you in Kuno. Fuck out of here.
Trying to fuck on Kuno. Fuck out of here.
What do you mean you threw it away?
Kuno tried to get the helmet on. It was too big.
He performs a kickoff on the imaginary
Kuno
helmet.
kicked that shit in the sea, rugby style. That shit means nothing to Kuno.
You threw it into the
Yeah,
sea?
that shit means nothing to Kuno. Kuno doesn't give a shit about material shit. Kuno's a fucking monk. You wanna fuck on someone about that armor? Go fuck the mustached union fuck. The jolly troubadour shit at the gate.
Who do you mean, troubadour?
Yeah, cock and boot. You know that jolly union cow fucker? Came around talking about cows or some shit? Came around pretending like he cares about cows?
He means Manana, the laid-back striker at the gates.
You mean
Yeah,
Manana?
he's the one you want to talk to. He's fucking crazy about that armor shit. Coming here pretending like he likes cows. Trying to catch a peep at Kuno's armor.
There are contusions all over the body. Did you do
What
that?
are you talking about? What is this contusion shit?
He grabs his head like it's suddenly
He
hurting.
says you're stupid, Kuno. They want to make you stupid again.
A contusion is a bruise. I'm talking... No. You know what? That's what I'm saying. You're stupid.
Get the fuck out of here calling Kuno stupid. Pigs come to Kuno for guidance, then say he's stupid. The fuck is up with that?
They're lost without you, Kuno. They need you. You're in control of this.
Why don't you figure your shit out yourself before you come to Detective Kuno for help?
Maybe we should.
You're testing Kuno's patience here.
Get lost.
Okay, I'm
Kuno
off.
doesn't fucking care.
I know that about you, Kuno.
Hear that? Magnesium. That's what you're lacking. The lack of magnesium has you slouched. The magnesium levels in your blood are dangerously low. It's about the low magnesium levels and not the high alcohol levels.
I fucking knew it wasn't the alcohol. Or the other
Yeah,
things.
the other things. Long live the other things. Made you strong as an ox, they have.
So there's a lack of magnesium in me?
Yes, and it's critical. Look at yourself. You're practically devolving into a fish due to the lack of magnesium in your bloodstream.
I need to mag
You
it
need
up?
to get so magged up. You've probably had 2 heart attacks and a minor stroke already. And the only prescription is insane amounts of magnesium. 1 stroke? Don't be so modest. He's having one right now.
You're saying I need to become a magnesium-based life form?
Yes. If you want to live, you need to evolve. You need to transcend the carbon barrier. Go to the apothecary and buy insane amounts of magnesium. It will reverse the damage to your circulatory system. Just remember, it's not the alcohol. Buy more of that too. Alcohol is not the problem. And it's certainly not the dextroamphetamine, nor smoking for 40 years. It's the lack of magnesium and excess of coffee. You should stop drinking coffee. It wreaks havoc on your gastrointestinal system.
Okay. Do we have a free spot to internalize that, or do I need to unlock it? I think I need to unlock it. It's okay, though. It is generally understood that human beings are carbon-based organisms, fusing little carbon tubes together to form complex, mushy structures capable of thought, love, and locomotion. It is also known that these structures sometimes like to take the edge off, by consuming ethanol, amphetamine, etc. In such cases, it is important to supplement your body with magnesium. Tired? Mag it. Down? Mag time. Liver damage? Maximum mag. Some people say magnesium doesn't really do anything, and you need to just quit. What do we tell them? I guess we're gonna find out. Okay. What does that say? Someone's trying to grow herbs in the greenhouse. Seems to be a good place to do that. Where should we go? Guess we should go talk to the union guys. See if we can't get help with the body. Actually, I might get better help with the body if I go unlock that door first. Because then I'm doing the favor for Everart. Coin operator viewer has been banged up. Inoperable. Roundabout north that way. Cape Side Apartments, Martinez Pier. The ad reads broken window, Tibbs has windows. If you had a bag in your hand, perhaps you could collect these bottles and sell them.
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum, rendering the machine permanently inaccessible.
Poor little viewer.
The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks unhygienic.
Vandalism.
Probably some kids.
Lieutenant inspects the rig
A simple
slot.
but clever solution to ruining a coin-operated viewer. It took ingenuity.
Look
A
inside.
thick layer of graffito covers the lenses. You spell out the word Onug written on the other side, with N and C scribbled backwards.
Shift your focus to the
Under
background.
the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the water lies a coast studded with concrete and reeds. On it, a church on stilts, lanky weather-worn wooden planks, an X-shaped cross topping its tower. Around the large wooden building you see chunks of sea ice gathered on the beach, and a small tent set up on the ice. This coin-operated viewer is facing south. The instruction manual says to insert 25 centimes and pull the handle while looking inside. Then use the focus knob to zoom in if necessary.
Insert a
Your
coin.
money disappears into the coin slot. A clunk, the ring of metal.
Pull the handle and look
The
inside.
curtains on the display open. You lean in to catch the view. It's blurry, different blues and greens. In the middle of the shimmer stands a drab grey shape, like a ghost.
Turn the knob to focus your
The
vision.
lenses shift. The ghost sharpens into an islet in the bay. In the ruins, a man-made structure is visible. A half-sunken sea fort. Its concrete almost reconquered by nature. It looks as if it was abandoned quite some time ago. Nothing but a rotten tooth remains of the anti-aircraft tower. A lonely birch tree grows out of it.
There are ruins of some kind of building over there.
Really? I don't have the eyesight to make it out.
Lieutenant takes off his glasses and cleans them. Who's down here on the stairs? You hear the distant squall of seabirds. Nothing I can't do. I'm the job for every man. Listen, boy, I don't start trouble, I fix it. Okay. This plastic bag has Frit written on it in a dynamic, forceful manner that implies great prizes. As you crack it open, a malty gust of air flies in your face. It smells of yeast and beer. Perfect place for terror. So does that mean we can pick up bottles? How did I go my entire first playthrough without doing this? That's pretty crazy. Entire mechanic of the game that I did not realize that you could do. Lonely cormorant surveys the sea, indifferent to your approach.
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building.
Why am I looking at this wall?
You have no clue. It's just a wall. So many walls all over Martinez, weather-worn, cracked, their paint peeling.
Leave. We'll have to put points into that eventually. What did we get? I saw something flashing. Oh well.
Are you trying to sneak up on me? Come to slit my throat in my sleep?
Apparently, she doesn't like people standing behind her back.
Pig's come to take me out. Trying to snuff me out.
Her voice becomes almost
If
inaudible.
anything, you're afraid she'll take you out one day.
No, why would you even say
Then
that?
why are you sneaking up on me like that? It's not a good idea to scare me, pig. Not a good idea at all.
Garden hose. This won't be of use until the snow melts. Balcony with a view to the yard and the hanging.
Hey, what's that noise down there?
Chairs and tables eaten by rain and rot.
There must be another way to the building.
Okay. You can chill with that,
It's been a week.
Cam. I don't know why it does that sometimes, but Jesus Christ, that scared the living shit out of me. Whew. That happened like one time during my last playthrough at some point too. That smoker up there could be a witness. Talk to him. Got some Nosafed. An orange bum hat. Orange beanie with a couple of big ass holes on the side. Looks like it might have been used as a mask during armed robbery. +1 reaction speed, feeling twitchy. -1 to rhetoric, bum brain.
So much for a quiet smoke.
Can you talk to him from down here?
You see a young man on a balcony nursing a cigarette. His eyes have been following you for a while.
Not looking for any trouble, officer.
He says in a quiet voice. Despite the cold, his shirt hangs unbuttoned on his frame. Why are you whispering? It sounds like you're already in
There's
trouble.
no trouble. I'm just speaking in a lowered voice.
He says Sato voice. Or Sato va. I don't know how to say that. I'm not fucking
I don't
smart.
want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie if that's okay. I just want to finish my cigarette.
It's the god of cigarettes and youth. Ask him if he's got anything to spare. Don't let him go. This could be your witness. The balcony has a great view of the whole thing.
Hold on. Can I at least have a cigarette?
Apologies, but this is my last one.
He takes another drag and
The
shivers.
god himself has denied you absolution.
I need absolution.
Absolution? I don't know that brand, but I'm pretty sure you can get Astras at the Frit.
Can't you just, like, toss that one
I'm
down?
not sure that's a good idea.
Shut up and throw,
I'm not
kid.
throwing anything.
There's no way you'd catch that cigarette anyway.
What, really?
Yes, really. Don't even try. You'll just embarrass yourself.
You're right. That was obviously a bad idea. Forget I
As you
said it.
wish.
So the gendarmerie really needs to talk to you.
Is it really that important?
Yes, you adjust your
Like a
shirt.
nervous cat, he keeps stealing looks at the neighboring windows.
All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run.
Can you tell me your
My
name?
name? My name is Martin Martinez.
Martin Martinez? Good local name. Let's go with that.
Looks like you've got a good view of the Whirling's backyard. Can you tell me anything about the hanging?
I'd even go so far as to say that the view is a little too good, my dear gendarme. Do you have an estimate of when the body will be taken away?
We will remove the body as soon as possible. Now tell us, where were you last Sunday?
Oh. You already asked me that, didn't you?
He waves lazily at his cigarette. Or with his cigarette. I'm pretty sure I didn't.
No, not you. Some more muscular type.
He gestures
And when
idly.
did you speak to this more muscular gentleman?
Lieutenant takes out his little blue notebook and writes
Last
something
week?
down.
I don't know. Look.
He looks around the courtyard again. Old patio chairs and dead house plants litter
You
the
didn't
scene.
answer the question. What were you doing last Sunday?
I had a friend over.
What kind of
It
friend?
was my Sunday friend.
A Sunday friend. How intriguing.
What's your friend's real name? Did he see something?
He doesn't reply, gesturing no with his cigarette. In the neighboring windows, you can see faint reflections of his silhouette, all from different angles. Someone hides behind a curtain. Those windows have eyes, and those eyes are watching, spying on you three.
All right, we'll talk
No.
later.
We won't.
He takes one last drag of his cigarette before stubbing it out on
Now,
the
if you'll
balcony.
excuse me, I really need to get going.
Well, I don't think we're gonna pass this, but convince him to stay.
Time to bring out your secret charm. Tears and begging. Show him your emotional side. Throw yourself before his very feet like a dog.
Please don't go. I'll stop drinking. I'll take the trash out. Just please don't leave me.
Trash?
The young man shakes his head in confusion.
Listen, I really have to go.
With a flick of his wrist, he sends the extinguished cigarette sailing over the rail.
There it goes. Wasted. You would have gotten at least a few good drags out of it.
Good luck with the investigation.
He walks away. Well, that went a lot less good than it did the first time we talked to him. And by that I mean like first playthrough.
He's gone.
Lieutenant puts away his notebook and turns to you. We should run after him, see where he
No
went.
point in running. Tenements like these often have multiple exits. If he doesn't want to talk to us, then he'll know how to hide himself.
So we just
He
give
could
up.
be a witness. Him or his Sunday friend. Either way, we need to look into that muscular type who's asking about our case. There has to be a way of getting inside the building. Once we found a way in, we can ask around for his apartment.
Alright, let's do that. Okay, let's open up this door.
This must be it. The basement door is weather-worn. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place have turned green from sea air, and there's a knocker shaped like a lion's head. The royal lion, Guillaume's kitten. This knocker will last a lifetime and then some.
Carefully
You
knock.
knock silently. The upholstery muffles the sound. No response comes from the apartment.
I guess no one is in?
Press your ear against the
The
door.
leather upholstery is worn and rough against your jaw. You don't hear any movement. In fact, it's oddly silent in the yard around you. No birds chirp.
Lieutenant, what's your opinion of this task we're undertaking?
Let's be honest. This isn't what I joined the RCM for, but every day tells you something new about yourself.
Lieutenant replies, still inspecting the padded door.
Apparently, working with the local union boss to get info on an investigation is not something I'm squeamish about.
So you don't mind if I unlock
I
the
mind
door?
that the local thug is using the RCM for his busy work. But if this gets us to the bottom of this hanging, then I'm willing to look over it. On the other hand, we could just leave and tell Everard we opened the door. No one seems to be tailing us to see if we actually did it.
Lie to Everard? That's an option?
Yes. Presenting a fabrication is known to get results here and there. You took this task. You make the call.
The door is right here. You can just open it and be done with this.
Use Manana's key on
You
the
try
door.
to be as silent as you can. It takes a bit of rattling of the handle to loosen the bolt. Finally, the door unlocks with a small clack. Good job. Let's go now. I'm sure there's nothing interesting in there. There's nothing else to do than to leave and tell Everard. No conceivable reason for you to intrude on the premises. As you hold the open door, you can feel the air moving. A little draft, a whistle.
Alright, we're obviously you go in. Whoever lives here admires fair-haired fantasy heroes with big muscles. Okay, got a new dress shirt. Pressed and spotless gleaming white shirt, the kind that serious men wear, at serious insularary offices. Not yet piss-soaked or cum-stained. So, +1 to logic for being good with numbers. Either way, it doesn't take away a suggestion like the other one did, so we'll take it. We'll go ahead and put the glasses on too. Fuck it.
A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure. A dark-skinned woman grinning amidst mysterious symbols. A broad-shouldered man shoveling potatoes, and others.
Tap
A
on the
little
mugs.
ring. Though cheerful, the images on the ceramic make you vaguely uncomfortable. The lieutenant picks up one of the mugs, then puts it back down with a look of disdain.
I'm beginning to feel better about breaking into this man's apartment.
Whip out your yellow man mug and compare.
Yes, your broken mug friend would feel very much at home here. The same humor, the same mocking lines.
There's the missing tin soldier. Whoever lives here might have used the Whirling's container to dump his trash.
The lieutenant looks at the mugs next to
And
each
now
other.
they've drawn the ire of the Union. The plot thickens, as they say.
An interesting little clue. Let's see where this goes. Clues have a way of magically connecting to other clues down the road.
Do you really think it's the same person who put the dead man's clothes in the trash?
Who knows? I'm not expecting too much from this clothes in the trash lead either way. It might turn out to be some random local matter, but still, a nice coincidence.
Move on. The smell of disinfectant in the room. Smells like chemicals. The book titled The Hidden World of Walking Sticks lies open. You can almost feel the warmth of the red sun on the flag.
This is the flag of Revachol, the suzerainty.
What's with the
This
sun?
isn't just one sun, but there are little suns dancing around the big sun. This is the sevenfold sun miracle.
What's the sevenfold sun
It's an
miracle?
optical atmospheric anomaly the first settlers saw. Happens in cold weather. 6 small suns around the big one. This complex halo phenomena is how old Revachol got its flag.
Lieutenant, the old flag of the suzerain.
The tenant is an old-fashioned guy.
Don't bow
The
to the
flag
flag.
doesn't seem to mind. It's just a colorful fabric with a sun sewn onto it. Like all feudal flags, it looks like a children's drawing.
Something on the floor. Magnesium, nice. Small suitcase full of clothes. Guest staying over? Yeah, I think that's it. Let's go. Alright, can you look at the door? Thank you. What's that? Nice. Let's go talk to Renee and Gaston before we make our way to the Union. Splatter of bullet holes line the wall. Oh, hold up. Come on, pop up again. No, I don't want to look at that. Come on.
The sight
Thank
of
you.
bullet holes stirs something in you, making you forget the lieutenant's surname.
Look closer
The
first.
faded marks are too degraded to draw any forensic conclusions. Just chips in the sandstone.
Kim, look. Bullet holes.
Where?
Point to the chips in the wall. Someone's been shot. We're cops. We should solve
There?
it.
Those are old.
He looks at the wall. What do you mean
These
old?
bullets were fired during the revolution, over half a century ago. They do not warrant investigation.
What can you tell me about this revolution?
Not much. I don't have a fresh perspective on it. Shall we go?
Life doesn't need to be a struggle.
He covers his mouth to hide a
I'll
burp.
be with you in a moment, officer. Let me just finish my sandwich. Talk to Angry Hard René first.
Have you no shame? Whining about your back every time you bring out the measuring tape.
The man says to his partner.
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup. Please, let's just try to enjoy the game, alright?
This one is still chewing on his sandwich.
Look, in his hand, going into his mouth. The sandwich. It's hauntingly beautiful.
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration. You're old. I can see that. We're both old. Now stop grabbing your ass like it's a girl.
These manly men are playing balls. This is a ball game. Grab a ball and play it. Don't ask questions. Shoot first. Ask questions never.
Shouldn't I ask what game it is
No,
first?
you got this. There's the ball. You're the game.
Grab the ball and show him how it's done.
You are immediately surprised by the ball's lack of weight. No matter, you'll make it work. God, this is right. You feel the familiar tremble of excitement and adrenaline that precedes every victory. Time has frozen.
Feel the
The
ball.
cold metal ball is surprisingly smooth against your neck. It has a pattern on it, probably a sponsored ball. Yours would only be covered with bumps of learning and scars of victory. Already your muscles are adjusting to the weight, the nervous system calibrating, until you and the ball have merged into a single entity. The man ball is ready.
Take in the
A
surroundings.
chilly breeze ruffles your hair as you stand there, feet firmly planted. All sounds, smells, even the wind, everything fades until the only thing left is the union of man and ball. West, in the Grand Couronne area, a sharp overhand left from Arsène Luc Edelbrock sends the Samaran heavyweight champion, Kostya Miasnok Kostanicha, flying to the mat. The crowd goes wild. Revachol loves her heroes.
It's time for a last glance inward. Who am I?
An embodiment of pure motion. A fine-tuned locomotor running at maximum efficiency. Behold the fear and confusion reflecting in the eyes of the two feeble geezers. They are in awe of your superiority. You are a god to them.
The inertia can be contained no more than a bullet leaving a gun. Let go. Be the bullet.
Merde! Bordel de merde!
The old soldier yells in
What
outrage.
the hell is your problem?
I'm a god of track and field. Why would I have a problem with
I
anything?
don't care if you are a cop. You do not just ruin someone's game. It's so goddamn disrespectful.
A man his age getting worked up like that? Better watch that blood pressure.
Don't be a sore loser. It's still a fair game between you two. Second place is a podium
You
position.
vandalized our game, son. We can't play pétanque with 5 bull.
P-Tank?
Yes, pétanque. You ruined our pétanque game. We want our bull back.
Take it easy, René. This is just a misunderstanding, isn't it, officer? No harm done.
The Jolly One tries to defuse the situation.
Of course there's harm done, you orange slug. You owe us a goddamn bull.
Alright, I'll try to fix this.
Good. Mistakes are forgiven, when men at least try to right their wrongs. I believe you will try. Now, why did you approach us?
I found your guard booth.
Yes, the Debardeurs Union pays me to stand vigil during the night. Not out of any political allegiance, mind you. I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and money is tight.
He adds with a slight sigh. You must have seen something on the night of the murder. Your booth looks right into the yard.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday.
Hold on, why are you on
It's
leave?
a private matter. Nothing to do with your investigation.
He says with
You
dignity.
see, officer, René is the kind of man would rather die than admit he needs medical assistance or, God forbid, sick it. A real man's man is just gonna ride it out.
I'm fine, goddammit. Mind your own business. It's nothing. Just got to cut back on coffee.
The outburst makes him clutch his chest.
It's his heart.
So who's working your shift that night?
No one. The boss has been unmanned since last Monday. There's no other guard. It's just me.
He looks suddenly very old and
No
tired.
one has been guarding the container yard since last Monday.
Yes. It's not actually an issue. I mean,
He nods before hastily continuing.
Look, officers, the container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before René. Monsieur Claire had that booth built specially for him. It's mostly decorative.
Mostly
the
decorative.
possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded individuals.
He tries to argue.
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabiniers' pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated Kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with tear collecting. It's my side thing too.
Oh, I didn't mean to imply there's something wrong with that. I do it too. Everyone does it. It's an excellent side thing.
Jolly Man says
Yes,
quickly.
yes, yes. Can we conclude the topic of my guard booth now?
I saw a picture in there. You were in it. Who's the girl?
She is nobody. This is none of your concern. and I refuse to discuss my private affairs with the RCM.
His features stiffen and he gets a cold
The
look.
lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
Got it, thanks.
Yes, yes. Like I said, I would be up anyway, so might as well keep an eye out. It keeps my senses sharp.
Do you know anything about the man hanged in the backyard?
Unfortunately, I don't. Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting law enforcement. But this affair has passed me by completely.
And most of the locals?
In Martinez, the union is the law. So can you really blame them?
But you don't have a problem with cops?
Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. On the contrary, I admire the effort to bring order to our streets.
So again, you don't know anything.
If I knew, I would not be afraid to tell you. I simply don't. I'm an old man, not a coward. The daily business of the riffraff no longer concerns me.
You seem to be playing in a crater.
Yes. The terrain here provides an interesting variety to a familiar game.
Does it have anything to do with all the bullet holes I've been seeing around?
Yes. It was left by heavy artillery fire.
He replies with a reluctant nod.
Heavy artillery fire, you say? That's the best kind of artillery fire. Very interesting.
Okay, it's a crater left by artillery fire, but why?
Why what?
Why was heavy artillery used?
Because that's what happens when communards hijack your country, execute your supreme leadership, and turn your capital into a slaughterhouse. You use heavy ordnance to clean up your home.
Wait, who are the communards
Commies,
again?
communists, socialists, anarchists, call them what you like. They just chose the name to feel special. Senseless sentimentality.
The Carabinier frowns. Did you use artillery fire against them?
Sadly, no. It was the foreigners who brought them to their knees. We fought valiantly. Too valiantly. So valiantly we got licked.
He adds, squeezing a bowl in his
Should have
fist.
fought dirty, like they did with their suicide sex cult propaganda and mad anarchist women strapped to shrapnel bombs. We didn't though, and we lacked caliber. God bless him, but the suzerain's cannons simply weren't big enough.
They should have chosen a place away from people and buildings.
This place is a damn beachhead, son. They had to soften the commies up first.
Beachhead?
Yes. The military coordinated amphibious landing to take back Revachol. Martinez was used as one of the 3 footholds in Revachol during Operation Deathblow in 08. The other 2 are off in Stella Maris and the Delta.
He points to the northeast. Deathblow sounds grim.
This here is Blood Ground, where coalition boots first made landfall and cleaned those rabid dogs out. Most likely, we're playing pétanque on their mangled corpses.
He says, looking down at the soil.
Blood ground. You got old René going there. Like he isn't hungry enough already.
The other one shakes his head. Hold on, the coalition?
Don't get me wrong, officer. I hate those foreign dogs, but the enemy of my enemy and all that. They're the lesser evil.
Is that why everything's so bombed out?
Damn right, son. They laid the fire of hell on the city before they stormed it. And it worked, too.
There's a strange gleam in his
He
eyes.
approves of this radical approach. Knows it was necessary.
The rest of the city got cleaned up, but Martinez they keep as a monument. And now the Union Socialists are practically running the place.
A dark shadow runs across his face.
Well, it's your own damn fault. You, we, the coalition, Revachol, whoever you want to blame, never finished the job. Officially, the party never surrendered. Of course they still hold influence.
You don't even begin to truly understand the players at the table, let alone the specific circumstances surrounding the... What do you think?
Which way do I want to go? I don't want to just be on the fence. That's how it should be. Soft socialists paved the way for hard-working class takeover.
Preposterous! Surely you don't mean it. I'm just sorry it had to be them. After 8 years of fighting those commie hyenas, boiling cats for food and drinking my piss in the mountains, I would have preferred if the Right Honorable King Guillaume returned to Revachol, or even if that damn clan Frissel had risen from the grave and led us. Sadly, that was not the case. Instead, all that is just, holy, and beautiful in the world was wiped away, and now it's neon signs with toothpaste ads everywhere. Foreign influence peddling garbage and stupid music on the radio.
Besides,
This is just what the commies wanted. This was the plan all along. This is what they wanted to replace the role of the suzerain with.
who is this
Damn
Frissel?
Frissel. He was the king we couldn't protect. The Carabineers failed him, and the crown. He died in the hands of the Hyperlay, in a very public execution.
The old veteran falls silent and massages his
He
chest.
slouches as he says that. It makes him smaller, admitting they left the king to the mob.
You mentioned Guillaume?
A true king in both blood and mind led Revachol before Frissel. He would have been better, but the damn commies drove him into exile.
What exactly is a suzerain?
Suzerain is the king! Has everyone forgotten already? They've forgotten already.
He slowly nods and says to himself,
It's no use talking to you. You were still in Daddy's balls when it happened. When we took our last stand against the filth and rode the cavalry straight into gunfire.
what is it about this old soldier that makes him stand so proud?
All you observe is a veteran refusing to let go of the past and his old uniform. This is not uncommon.
This is the uniform of the Royal Carabineers in service of Frissel I, Guillaume le Lion, and the valiant King Philip V before him.
He catches your glance and
Don't
nods.
you mean Frissel the Fan?
You do not speak his name, Craven, although he was a clown. But he was our clown, ours to ridicule and to mourn.
There's something you missed. You'll get to it. Don't worry.
Okay. No, don't talk to Kim. Don't talk to Kim. Okay.
As you turn, a bright light catches your eye, making you squint.
Cool.
So cool.
Where's it coming from?
From a distant sunset, a stage light, flash photography, nowhere in particular. It's just what superstar law officers do. They squint at lights, and they solve shit.
Actually, now that I hear... Actually, you know what? That's me. I've been establishing my superstardom hard
Yeah.
lately.
You have. You're a big dick cop, Dick Mullen. Salam Rocky Bayi, badass on-the-edge disco cop. Time to recede into a ludicrous fantasy world. Here we go. Camera. Lights.
Wait, what's that about a ludicrous fantasy
Yeah.
world?
You know. Beneath it is just heartbreak, a pulmonary tract infection, atherosclerotic disease. This is where you say action and reconceptualize all that. Reinvent it as the world's first celebrity police officer.
Fuck it. Action!
With a sudden flash, the world freezes around you, and you along with it. In an iconic monochrome solution, a black silhouette against a rasterized orange world. It's on.
Alright, it's on. I guess it's on. Can we unlock another one? I don't think we can right now. No, we'll have to wait. Come on. The spirited chirps and clicks of swallows fill the air. Okay. Let's go and talk to Everard, I guess. Enormous bowls worthy of a real man. The damage looks like it could have been caused by an earthquake. What's that on the ground? Is that more bottles? I can't believe that I went an entire playthrough without realizing that you could carry the fucking bag around and pick up the bottles. Actually, we'll talk to Manana on our way up there, too.
So, how'd you like our harbor?
Labor Utopia.
It's but a rest area on the path leading across open plains.
He notes solemnly, then turns to you, a wide smile adorning his face.
You talk to the boss, eye to eye, like men of the plain. If you have any more questions, I'm set to talk.
That weasel I visited. Turns out he has one hell of a colonial mug collection.
Yeah, the janitor who gave me the key to his apartment said the guy's a bit of an asshole.
Yeah, his mug collection certainly represented antiquated social values.
Like I said before, I don't know much about this weasel, but the bossman said he's a real piece of work. Thanks for helping out, friend.
He touches his beret. Kuno told me you were supposed to know about the armor.
The little boy had the good on his promise.
His promise?
To get me into trouble. To sick the pigs on me. Pardon the choice of words. Not mine.
What happened?
I was asked to look into that armor situation. Official Union probe, you know. Track it down, see who took it.
Did you?
At first I thought, why not? Maybe the pieces can feed the strike. Buy us a few more days under the sun, you know? So I went to this boy. He said he'll make me his prison bitch. He's got eyes everywhere, the cops in his pocket, and he's the king of Jamrock. Serves me right for doing menial footwork. I dropped that probe right then and there, and it still got me into trouble. One bad move is all it takes.
So Kuno used us to what? Scare you?
It's a minor nuisance. It's all good.
He contemplates taking a swig from his flask.
He thinks, not yet. Better to get this business out of the way. Sweeter then.
The probe into the armor. What did you learn?
I learned that people don't want to talk to a drunk Union man about some armor.
What else?
Not much. Technical stuff mostly. That was the interesting part.
What sort of technical stuff?
I did some research into this armadura. Let's say I have friends at the library. I didn't get into the material science, just how it comes off.
He explains with a wry smile.
How does it come off?
In parts. 4 in total. The helmet was the first to go. The kid says he tore it off and kicked it into the sea. I believe him. The boots were still on the guy last I saw. Too hard to remove. So, as I count, there are 2 parts missing. The gauntlets and the cuirass. This is where I left off. Too much hassle. More like a job for some militia.
Hold up. 4 pieces? Helmet, cuirass, gauntlets, boots. What about leggings?
Oh, they're just gone. They don't exist anymore, if they ever did at all. Forget about them. I did.
He gives you a jolly shrug. I'm ambitious. I'm going to find all of it. All the pieces.
All of it? There are junior officers out there, eager to prove themselves. I would leave some for them, but okay. Let's find all of it.
Lieutenant raises his
And
brow.
Mesqui's epic then, all across Martinez. I hope it will be a real bonanza for you.
He glances south where the canal runs. Thanks for your cooperation, Manana.
No problem. If you see that kid, thank him from Call Me Mañana. Thank him for showing me the way.
He finally takes a swig from his flask. Good talking to you, Manana. Gotta run.
Magnesium-based life form. We tell them, hell no. You're about to become a magnesium-based life form. The age of the primitive carbon man is done. No longer must mankind rely on slow-working background radiation to take us further into our genetic destiny. This is the era of guided evolution, and magnesium is the key. You are the first of your species, the next step in human evolution. An advanced magnesium proto-man who mags it up, drinks it down, and sniffs it sideways.
So we've got +2 volition with that. Magnesium receptacle glands. -1 to logic. No such thing, man. Okay. What do we get? I saw something in items, but I think it was just tripping. I don't see anything new. Okay. Let's go and talk to Everett. Hold up, hold up. Oh, shit. Go back through. Look at the door. Look at the door. Look at the door. Thank you. A notice: in case of a strike, press button behind the guard. Sorry, I'm checking to see if I'm still coming through for you guys. A lot of the times when it crashes like this, I need to like reset the whole stream because my audio gets fucked up or something. But it sounds like we're okay with the audio for right now. Yeah, no, I just heard me echoing because I was listening to it. Okay, I guess we're gonna see where it sets us back to. Oh man, pretty far.
As you turn, a bright light. So, from a distant sunset, a stage light, flash photography. Yeah, you have. Yeah, with a sudden...
Sorry, I'm just kind of like skipping through the stuff that we've already done. Okay, it didn't put us back that far. Just have to go back up and talk to Manana. Wasn't there more bottles in that can before? Okay. Let's see.
So, how'd you like our... It's buddy, right. You talk to the boss. Yeah, like I said before, to get me into...
What happened?
I was asked to...
Did you?
At first, so I went to this... Serves me right for doing menial food. It's in mind.
He thinks.
I learned.
What else?
Not much. I did some...
How does he?
In parts. So, as I count, there are 2 parts missing. The gauntlet? Oh, they're just gone.
All of it?
And Mesqui's epic then. Oh, no problem.
Okay.
Magnesium-based life form.
We're gonna quick save in case it crashes again. Because I don't want to have to do all that stuff again. Sorry, I hate skipping through dialogue. But I'm not gonna sit there and listen to the same stuff again. Pile of cargo belts used for heavy lifting. One says for Mia. I think that's how you pronounce that. If not, then I just sound like a fucking idiot. But that's fine, I sound like a fucking idiot all the time. Stair made of pallets leading up.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair.
I opened the door you asked me. Can we discuss the murder now?
I'm very glad to hear that, Harry. One question. You didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the apartment, did you?
The deal wasn't for me to go inside, so
You're
I didn't.
right, Harry. You only had to unlock the door, which you did. So we're all good here.
He gives you a
now
clever
let's
look.
get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is gonna start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is gonna be good.
You said the lynching and the strike are related.
By
How?
now, I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. Sent to scare us. Another violent measure of the top hats against us flatcaps.
What do you
Harry,
mean?
this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group. They tried to shut the strike down by sending in armed mercenaries.
You mean our victim?
A security contractor? Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship, and they send hired killers to mow us down with machine gun fire?
He performs a motion as if spraying bullets from a machine gun.
I'm talking beasts. Hardened killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Saramaritsa, you name it, they've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company, Harry.
Sorry, can I use this point to internalize the thought? Okay. We're gonna go ahead and do that. and start internalizing this some kind of superstar. First, let's make this absolutely clear. No one is saying you're an actual superstar in the groupies and cocaine riddled with hepatitis C strikes a lion-esque pose with a Mike kind of way. You're not Guillaume Le Millon or Davy Dewis. No. You're a metaphorical superstar. You bring that rock and roll authenticity and passion to a line of work where people don't expect or want to see it. Whereas some would say it doesn't belong. Law enforcement. Alright.
Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant.
Hold on, you have a village
No,
elephant?
Harry, the elephant is metaphorical, and so is the village. But the mercs and their brutality are very real.
Go
now,
on.
I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, they just move my container.
Wait, they moved the container?
Yes, I'm an old man, Harry. My legs aren't what they used to be. They lift my office with that big crane. It's actually very fun. You should try it. But enough about me and my fun container. The killers the company hired, I think there were 3 of them, all hardened commando types.
His face turns serious.
One of them got downright suicidal. Getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy, the one who likes hanging out and trees.
What makes you think the Wild Pines negotiator can't control them?
Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers are not pushovers. We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, we push to kill.
He raises his
An
finger.
entire neighborhood of killers.
Wait, the whole neighborhood is in on
Potentially,
it?
Harry, potentially. We got arm wrestling champions, rowing club people, ex-coal miners, tough guys, all ready to spring into action for their home base.
Who exactly did the pushing?
There's a militant wing inside the Union. A group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor, but peacekeeping in the neighborhood, making sure everything runs smoothly. They're like you guys. Idealistic people who want to make sure bad things don't happen. And if they already have, well, punishment must follow.
So these idealists killed our victim?
One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, "Boss, socialist democratic fervor drove us to take it upon ourselves to kill this beast that was burdening the land." He probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him. I gave them 2 weeks paid leave and told them to lay low to avoid retaliation.
Aren't you worried we might arrest them for this?
Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martin A's boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look after them.
How do you know the mercenaries were hired by the shipping company?
How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. That's their MO. It's what they do.
He slams his fist on the desk.
Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in Sediment, a security contractor. The strike was over the workers' right to wear protective footwear, Harry. These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company, after a little rebranding. And I'm sure as hell not surprised to see an army of scabs under my gates.
So you believe the scabs were organized by the security contractor?
You said it. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during strikes.
The fist slams on the desk again. You mentioned the lawyer girl.
Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal.
Tell me about Titus Hardy and his
Oh, they
crew.
are simply fine young men, all 7 of them. Exemplary union members, always working to advance their position in the local socialist democratic movement. core members. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. Gotta love his initiative.
Interesting. Who's second in command?
They're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, I'm sure they only had the best interests of Martinez and Revachol in mind. Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like you. Men who like beer, women, and some order on the streets.
Where can I find them?
You know what, Harry? I got a feeling they're gonna show up in full force tomorrow.
He points both index
The
fingers at you.
lieutenant marks something in his notebook.
In the future, I could use your backing. Can't you ask the Hardy Boys to cooperate?
But of course! It's the least I can do for my good friend Harry. I'll do it right after we've concluded this talk.
When you meet this Titus, tell him about this. See what he has to say.
Also, Harry, here's 5 real.
Wait, why are you
I'm
giving it
not
to
giving
me?
you anything. I'm just holding out 5 real.
The lieutenant watches you pocket the banknote. He looks a little puzzled.
Good boy. A real team player. Now, do you have any more questions? Was
Good
it a
talk.
good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. Heck, I even wanted to tell you what I really want to achieve with the strike. I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And of course, I also wanted you to find your gun. But it's like I can't completely trust you. Yet.
Great sadness comes over him. Yet?
Yes, Harry. It's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the left. I want to, but I just can't.
He says, slowly shaking his head. What's that supposed to mean? I'm more left than you are not. I'm not a man of the left, I'm a patriot of
Just
Revachol.
between us, I don't care for those lefty dinks either. It's all about power, and here's how we're gonna get it. I need you to be my kingsman, Harry.
And what would this entail?
Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper, and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta.
Kim, what do you think?
Depends. I don't think what we just got from Mr. Clare was very useful.
He studies
As I
over
said, it weighs on me heavily. But once we get really talking, well, I'm gonna hand you the keys to Martinez, and maybe even help you figure out who's behind this killing.
He bows his head in shame, then looks up and smiles. What are the signatures
I'm
for?
glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth center in Martinez. It will be righteous. We're gonna get those teenagers off drugs and on roller skates.
He grins broadly.
There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 more signatures to get this mission off the ground, Harry.
Where is this place exactly?
On the coast, Harry, across the canal. There's a cul-de-sac there, a little village they're calling it. A gloomy place. You'll find it. I trust your detective skills, Harry.
Water drips from the eaves. A woman looks at her freshly tarred skiff. There's a pair of cavalry boots under the fish in the box, and the wind howls like a vicious spirit.
What will happen to the current occupants?
They are just gonna have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings. Right next to a fancy new youth centre, designed by the best architects from Stella Marie.
Fine, if I happen to be there, I can ask
You
him.
bring joy to my heart, Harry. Such a pleasure to be working with you. Here,
He hands you an open
you
white
need
envelope.
to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop and across the canal. I hear there is some trouble with the water lock, but they should fix it by Wednesday morning. Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in La Delta. Then I'll know you're a real kingsman and a patriot.
He runs his fingers through his thin hair. Could you help me get a dead body down from a
You
tree?
might have noticed there's one hanging on a tree behind the hostel cafeteria.
Oh my. Don't take this question personally, but why would I get involved in this matter?
He smiles
Mr.
pleasantly.
Clare, the man was hanged with a cargo belt. A steel-reinforced cargo belt. It's safe to assume the Union had something to do with the murder. Besides, getting the body down would benefit all of us. It's a stain on the neighborhood.
Also, I studied the footprints on the crime scene. Worker
I can
boots.
certainly see how having him up there might start affecting some real estate values.
He licks his fat lips and smiles.
But of course, all joking aside, I am going to help you.
He picks up the handset of a radiophone to his right, and then clicks a button.
Jean-Luc, my boy, I'm sending 2 police officers down. They have a dead body in a tree problem they need help with. Namely, they need it to be taken down. And Jean, please take it easy with the race science. That's a yes to getting the body down, no to the race science.
He hangs up and turns back
You
to
can
you.
find Jean-Luc down at the gates. He's the big, impressive one. You know, tattoos, muscles, ethnic looking. Can't miss him. Great guy.
Okay. I'm gonna leave, but we might talk
See
again
you
later.
soon, Debardeur. Just kidding, but not too much.
The big man raises his hand to farewell. So we need to go get Measurehead to help us take the body down now? Again, different from first time, that's for sure. White envelope with a stamp attached to the upper right corner. Handed to you by Everett Clare. Inside are some legal documents with 2 names printed on them. Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. Both
You
signatures are
take the
required.
legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 to 40 month construction period and the zoning plan in the addendum.
Look at the
The
zoning plan.
youth center cuts into the ocean like the bow of some great modern ship. Apparently, it's going to cover most, if not all, of the street and the square between the existing houses. It's 3 stories tall.
Cam, what do you think
I'm
of
no
this?
property lawyer, but it looks fine. I like the print size. They're not selling or leasing anything. It's not the perfect solution, but...
Alright, we're gonna try to find a loophole later, because right now we're taking a logic hit from internalizing that one thought. So our chances are even lower than what it would be. So we'll wait till we're at least done internalizing that. Alright, let's go get Measurehead and try to get this body down.
Your body betrays your degeneracy.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
The young woman at the giant's side agrees. Say nothing, size him up
Are
first.
you admiring my morphophysiology?
A ripple of muscle passes underneath his skin. He
It
lets
must
you look.
be frightening to stand in the shadow of this racial pinnacle. Be calm, Am Sandwich. You are not in danger because you are not a threat to me.
Puff out your chest, still saying nothing.
What is this androgynous display of sexual maturity?
He looks down at you, taking stock of your
Things
physique.
are not as bad as they look. Sure, you have high blood pressure from metabolizing heroic quantities of ethanol, but you are robustly built. You will survive.
I can see you were once an athlete, then deteriorated in your 20s. It is typical of your haplogroup. Let's blame the failed education system and leniency towards degenerates in your homeland.
Jean-Luc, his body is betraying his degeneracy pretty hard. Maybe you can ask him to leave.
She holds her nose. What do you mean my body betrays... You know what? My body does not betray my degeneracy.
You have succumbed to Al-Ghul.
His face contorts in disgust, as if he were smelling a dead rat.
You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al-Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company sick.
I don't have a problem with alcohol. I just drink a little on the weekends.
Your mouth moves, but the one who speaks is Al-Ghul. You are but a vessel for the Ghul now. Very little of yourself remains. Occidental Haplogroup B4 is done giving orders around here. The influence of the ham sandwich race is waning.
First, let me make this clear. I'm not a drunk, I'm a cop. I just have a drink every now and then. Everyone does.
The ethanol fungus is deep within your nervous system, pulling the strings. You are merely its pupa now. I see no hope for you or your kind.
I am the police, and I need you to comply
Jerking
now.
motions. Signs of a late-stage neurodegenerative disorder. How far the Occidental Haplogroup has fallen. You were once a noble and powerful race.
He pauses in melancholy reflection.
You gave the world eugenics, electricity, and powerful weapons of war like missiles and aerostatic aircraft. You made great gains in metallurgy, race theory, and statecraft. You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemians and the inexplicably potato-obsessed Quakers. But now your ascent to the genetic summit has halted. You are obsessed with sadness and with frivolous pop culture. You will be superseded. Isn't that right, babe?
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
The situation is serious. Your people have probably killed a man.
Enough with this begging. You should leave the stage of history with dignity by inviting the other races to a great world war. Bring your troops to the Seminine Islands and to Boogie Street, and we will pulverize you. When you are gone, we will build a museum for you. The walls will be lined with bottles of Al-Ghul, your beloved beverage. Inside, we will store the odes to homosexuality you call art, and your microcephalic skulls.
Don't be such an asshole to your fellow dock
The
worker.
man looks at you, silent and unmoving. His eyes burrow into the remnants of your soul.
You are not Santiago. Santiago is not you. Even the phrenically impaired can see this.
Ever I told you to help us get the body down from the tree?
So it was. You surmounted the harbor wall in a display of athletic prowess to reach my superior. Then had him give me an order. I salute your cunning, and I will remove the body from the tree with my bare hands.
You're so noble, Measurehead.
But while I am gone, someone must stand guard on the bridge. That someone needs to be you. Both of you.
Lieutenant, what if we don't want to do
This
that?
is the uncomfortable result of not taking it down ourselves. I can live with a compromise.
Listen to your little friend. He is wise in his childlike way. His mysterious race may yet prove fierce competition to my heroic haplogroup.
Okay, then.
Babe, see that they stay here the whole time.
The woman's gaze follows Measurehead as he leaves.
So, you guys are like cops or something?
Why are you with Measurehead?
Look at him. His craniometric perfection. Are you cops or what?
We're just trying to keep things from going to
Have
shit.
you ever thought that maybe things should go to shit? I'm Katya, by the way.
The woman twirls
You
her
hear that?
hair.
That sound. He's breaking something.
Lieutenant looks toward the
Yeah,
yard.
Jean-Luc must be really tearing it up over there. I wish I could see it.
I don't. I've seen enough of that dead body
Look
already.
at you! RCM rent-a-cops! Guarding that bridge like Everott's lapdogs! Is this where it's at now? The RCM is for sale!
A loud voice booms in from
And who
below.
are you? What is your business here? Why are your clothes 4 sizes too small for you?
Lieutenant fires back. That's none of your business.
A shrill laughter interrupts you, echoing across Martinez. It's Kuno. Then, the man turns to look behind him at the behemoth appearing around the corner, approaching him, walking past him.
Hopefully he didn't fuck up the body too much.
The corpse has been removed from the tree. Stand down and congratulate yourself. You have sided with Ray's victory today.
There's been no side choosing. We did what we had to do to keep order.
And what you had to do was to become a Union man for all to see.
Isn't Everett the Union boss white?
Don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. The race enigma runs much deeper than that.
He turns his eyes towards the harbor, seemingly bored with you. Yeah, but you still serve him. How does that factor into your
Mr.
life?
Claire is a man of vision and means. He has the will to confront International Capital, which is something your race naivistic communists never did. Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. It is lax and moronic.
My jam is mysterious fourth
Jam. Individualism. You have gotten these ideas from degenerate youth culture, have you not? You have picked them up from rock and roll songs?
I've gotten it from disco, actually.
Offshoots of the Seminoles people invented disco while having sex under the influence of cocaine. It is a shame upon my race. But what is done is done. I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the inevitable cultural victory of the Seminoles race.
I don't really know who the Seminoles are. I've recently experienced head trauma.
I can see that. The Seminoles are the South Island race. Haplogroup A4A. The rightful masters of the Insulindian archipelago. We descend from the Areopagites of ancient Pericarnassus. and arrived here 4,000 years ago. We are the future. That is all you need to know.
So you were born and raised on the islands before you moved to
I
Ravashon?
am a descendant. The narrow streets of Ulimbuir are with me in my genetic dreams. I see young Seminoles women walk into the grey mass on Ile de Fantôme, waiting on immaculate conception from the pale.
So you did not come from the islands?
No. I have heard about it on the radio. Yes.
Kim, what do you
I
think
think
about
this
this?
racist is better than the last. But the next racist will be the really good one.
How do you know there will be a next
There
racist?
always is.
Race is reality.
What are your tattoos supposed to mean?
Racists are generally not very good examples of their race.
He gestures towards the lorryman down the street.
Welcome to Revachol. You hear him yell at a redhead woman visiting the fritter nearby.
I am not like them. I am craniometric perfection. I have taken the trouble to permanently draw a phrenologic grid on my skull and features. This should dispel any doubt.
True, that is a noble cranium, but you got a hard noggin yourself.
You sure I'm not craniometrically superior to
You
you?
exhibit forward projection of the jaw, indicative of schizophrenia and sexual inaccountability. From a purely aesthetic standpoint, the dimple in your jaw makes you look like a baby. This is not craniometry, just an observation.
What else?
It is impossible to see any more of your bone structure. It is covered in the ravages of Al-Ghul. From what remain of your features, I can see fleshy lips, baldness of the head, and long arms relative to lower limbs. This leads me to conclude you are not a police officer. You are a common criminal, an offspring of murderers and sailors from Sur-la-Clé and Vesper, and possibly even the degenerate sheep herders of Ubi.
Interesting. So one of my ancestors was Sir Lechef and the other
Your
Vesper.
racial heritage is uninteresting. It is the same as all Rivacholians. Your parents and their parents made the decision to reproduce while under the influence of Al-Ghul. That is the only reason you are here.
He's right there. It's almost impossible to get it on unless you're both drunk. It's too scary when people are sober.
Know anything about this mug?
He does not so much as glance at the object.
Know anything about it?
Stop showing me your pathetic cup. I have no interest in it.
Does he strike you as the kind of man who puts mugs into trash?
Alright, we're leaving. We don't need to subscribe to his advanced race theory. Alright, let's try to go do the field autopsy before we call it for the night. Which might be, irresponsible of me. I should probably just call it. I forget how long the field autopsy takes, quite honestly, but we're gonna go ahead and do it. I'm interested to see if he fucked the body up when he was pulling it down. We got really lucky in the first playthrough when we shot the body down, that's for sure. Uno, do you have anything to say?
You missed a good show before. A kid came by and completely fucked the tree to pieces.
He fucked the factory up. Fucked it good. It was porno.
Wish I could have been here to see it.
Shoot that shit at Kuno, pigonaut.
Talk to Manana about the armor.
So?
He raises his eyebrows, projecting aggressive indifference. He told me you promised to sick the pigs on him.
Yeah, so? Kuno did sick the pigs on him. Kuno's a man of his word.
He doesn't
Kuno
understand.
sent your fat ass running around like jello.
Look, pig. Kuno sent you to rough some people up. Kuno played you. That happened. Now you and Kuno should move on.
I'll remember this,
You
Kuno.
got fucked. You got fucked, pig. Fucked bad. Of course you're gonna remember this. Now get the fuck out of here, Grief and the Kuno. After this shit, you better have something real interesting to say if you want to stay in Kuno's face.
Yeah, real interesting.
Alright, I'm
Kuno
off.
doesn't fucking care.
We know that. Alright, had a breakthrough on the superstar cop thought.
Some kind of superstar. They say the world isn't ready for a rock and roll cop. No one wants their state monopoly on violence to be mixed with celebrity worship. They claim to know it would be dangerous for detectives to rise to the ranks of demigods and have sexual encounters with barely legal cover girls. It would be insane, they say. To all this, you say, fuck off and die, in a cool voice. You people have no idea how good these cops are gonna get. They're gonna crack 20 cases a day. In the future, cops will be like astrophysicists, or prime ministers, or prophets. And you're the first one.
Alright, and that gives us -1 logic, price of self-delusion. We're getting a lot of logic hits. I feel like that might fuck us over. We might need to forget some of these thoughts. Learning cap for visual calculus raised to 6. Suggestion raised to 6. Electrochemistry raised to 6. Composure raised to 6.
Yes?
The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pinewood branch. It's gently laid on one side.
Beautiful.
Mr. Measurehead has done a good job. Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field autopsy.
A field autopsy?
Yes. 1. Investigation of the scene. 2. Initial examination of the victim. 3. Field autopsy. 4. Transportation of the body to the morgue. We are on number 3.
The fuck are they on about?
Cop's gonna cut his shit up.
Don't we have someone else to cut his shit
It's
open?
not about cutting. And no, you and I are detectives. The honorary rank of detective signifies our ability to handle the entire incident chain, from autopsy to cleanup to social work.
Wait, honorary rank of detective?
An honor and a burden attached to your rank once you've proven yourself able, usually after 5 to 8 years of field work. Mine is lieutenant detective.
I don't think I'm a detective.
You are. Your station would not have assigned you on this case if you weren't. Now, the way I see it,
He looks at the corpse with some disgust.
it's either this, or we complete the initial interviews. We already met Evrard, that only leaves the Wild Pines representative. There's one in town, negotiating the strike. She could have information.
No need for a distraction. Let's do this.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
First, what exactly is a field autopsy?
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
He pulls on a pair of latex gloves. Clap your gloved hands. Let's get in
There
there.
truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening gloves. However, they are lacking hygienically. I suggest you get in there in limited capacity.
He nods approvingly. I don't know. What do you mean?
I mean when I need you to. Until then, I should handle physical contact, and you should take notes.
You just fill this in, right? Show him the red field autopsy form in your
That's right.
ledger. Open your ledger at the field autopsy
The
form.
dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with
Assistant.
That's you.
Raphael Ambrosius
The
Costo.
corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there. The next box says
Coroner case number.
KK57 dash O.
Write
Next.
it down.
NA.
Name.
Next.
Date of
NA.
birth. Age.
Roughly 50.
Right about
the
50.
corpse looks ageless, like meat on a hook, teeming with opportunistic microorganisms, letting out a foul-smelling diamine compound. Your eyes turn watery.
Race.
Mondial.
The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other.
Sex.
Fucky, fucky!
The little monster exclaims energetically.
Pigs can have sex!
Right, fucky.
Naively, the lieutenant does not double-check your notes.
Date of
We're
death.
still going with March 4th. 51.
Okay, March 4th,
What else?
51.
9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
KK 57 0503 0815 listens motionless, with the cargo belt still around his neck. Only 1 box remains.
Evidence of treatment?
None. At least not after the initial examination.
What exactly is treatment anyway?
Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem.
I'm not so sure. Didn't the footprints look like he was carried
They'd
over?
have to have incapacitated and carried him over. This man was more than a match for untrained dogwalkers.
He places his hand on the dead man's chest, as if in preparation.
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-DeLorean burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then,
we should start the post-mortem.
Turn the
the
page.
corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
External examination summary.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
He turns the body onto its side to check the underwear label.
See, it's happening.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
Write it down.
The rest of the clothes have been removed post-mortem by scavengers in order to get to the victim's ceramic armor. Officers are in search of the missing pieces. Removal of the boots is left for processing.
It would be clever of you to omit the boots altogether, sire. If you are to keep them for yourself, as you ought to, you have deserved them more than anyone else.
When am I gonna get it?
Patience. After the autopsy, before the body is taken away, there will be a window of opportunity. After the lieutenant has gone to sleep. I hope this has helped you, my liege.
Omit the boots.
Tattoos.
He stands up, feet planted on either side of
The
the
upper
body.
torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a national pattern. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigot Mini. The deceased has a cargo lashing belt around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end. Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age, about 50. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature, below freezing. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
Touch the corpse's hair before moving on.
The hair under your latex fingers feels cold to touch, wet.
Stroke
The
his hair.
stench is suffocating. Strands of dark brown hair start sticking to the latex of the glove, like thread off a rag doll's head. There must be brilliantine in there. He's combed his hair back with oil.
Keep patting them.
More hair sticks to the glove. Hair off the rain-soaked head of a dead man. There are bumps and dips on the skull below. An alien landscape. For a fraction of a second you feel something. An irregularity. But then it's gone. Too minute to register in your mind.
What was that, a
What
bump?
was what? Brilliantine. There's brilliantine in his hair.
Okay, add the brilliantine.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs. Consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity.
Fucking low velocity? You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest. Consistent with predation.
Write it down, but amend for high velocity.
Ligature mark.
Lieutenant produces a small folding knife. With the other hand pulling on the belt, he starts cutting into the polyester. The stench is hard. After a while, it's obvious the material cannot
Steel
be cut.
wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Good thing we got these chain cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now,
He points to the rope squeezing the
we
dead
need to
man's
cut the
neck.
belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as much precision as you can.
See? My pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
I'm not your pig,
You
Kuno.
are? You're Kuno's pig?
Looking for a good spot to
The
cut.
belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the yeast. The knot is the weak spot. The chain cutters fit in there, steady now, like a flower arranger. 2 cuts and it should come loose.
Okay. If we miss this, I'm gonna be completely blown.
After some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber handles together, sweat forming on your brow. Snap! The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
Welcome in, what is that? Thacaclord? I absolutely love this game. I finished my first playthrough last week, and I was going to be starting a different game for my little chill streams, but it's been stuck in my head. So, I'm still going to be playing this for a little while. Going to do another full playthrough of it for my chill stream, and after that, going to take a break from it for about a year or so until I revisit it, I think. But yeah, no, I loved it too much, and I honestly didn't really understand the game that much my first playthrough. It took me hours just to figure out how to properly play it. But yeah, now that I actually like really get it, I figured it was time to, like, you know, play through the whole game and, like, try to, like, see a little bit more, I guess. Although, like, my first playthrough did go really well. I have to say. I don't know. I feel like I got pretty lucky. But yeah, welcome in.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck.
Lieutenant has kneeled closer, running his finger along the dark red groove until there's a
As
gap.
it ought to. This is where its grip on the curdled meat is gentlest, pulling up.
Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters.
So, did you change your base stats much from your first playthrough? I haven't replayed it yet, so I'm imagining I have a lot I missed out on. So my first playthrough, my stats were very heavy on psych and, like, low in physique and intelligence. So this time I went higher in physique. Psych's really low. I went higher in motorics, and it has made things a lot different. Like the little inner dialogues are a lot different this time around. What is it called? Like the main one that you pick at the beginning. The first time around I picked Inland Empire, and that was a lot of fun. And this time I did electrochemistry. Again, it's making things a little bit different here and there, but I'm enjoying it a lot. I don't know. I'm only on my second day of my second playthrough, so what, 6 hours or so into the second playthrough? But I've already seen a couple of different things that have played out quite differently. Even just getting the body down, I've done that completely differently. First playthrough we shot it down, this time we had to get Measurehead to help us out. Current stats are the opposite to your playthrough. Yeah.
Chest is intact. Normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant. Pelvis intact. Genitalia...
He pulls down the man's underpants.
No! Let's get out and see!
I fucking knew it!
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
Alright, time to get weird. Inspect the genitals.
The dead man's penis is average-sized, congested from the downward collection of blood.
Picked
the
a good time to stop
in. In length, hanging underneath. The genitalia is greenish. Marbling is present around the crotch. You should touch it.
Go ahead and touch it.
Doesn't feel like anything. A cold spot under your gardening gloves. Unremarkable and unalive.
My pig's so fucking ill right now.
His voice swells with
Your
pride.
pig's pretty sick, I gotta say.
Write it down and
Back
move
is
on.
symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are old combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip.
Bullets have bitten little pieces out of him. It must have been excruciating, especially the hip. Before you is a temple of pain that knew little tenderness in life.
In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
This is the body of a soldier, mercenary.
Mm-hmm. We have a real museum here. Of battles, wars. Last item, hands.
He takes the man's right hand in his, inspects it, and then moves on to the other hand.
The hand feels heavy, filled with decay liquids, like it's ready to explode if squeezed hard enough. You're suddenly repulsed, so much so you feel compelled to drop it.
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling.
Were we expecting any?
I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment. Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next?
Okay, number 2, internal examination.
Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
You don't even have a joke.
Nope.
Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
He gets close to the swollen mouth hole, eyes squinting from the fumes.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous. You hear cracks as the lieutenant moves his sharp fingers inside the flesh, like the creaking of an old house at night.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable. Respiratory system.
Back hunched as if in prayer, he begins to pry open the dead man's jaws. He stops to exert more force. Both hands are
Oral
used.
cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
Look inside the dead man's mouth.
No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. Sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like you're about to throw up again, straight in that mouth of his. No, you don't. You can keep it in. You can keep anything in.
Look deeper inside.
You manage to suppress the contractions trying to enter your stomach. All it takes is concentration. Through it, you see nothing but darkness. More meat and darkness.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus.
The lieutenant repeats impatiently. He lets go of the jaws. The mouth snaps shut before you.
Hepatobiliary. NA.
He wipes his brow. Why? Don't we have anything?
Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
He looks at the corpse's stomach with a mixture of tiredness and disgust. I don't think so.
Neither am I.
And that's it?
That's it. Same for toxicology and serology. NA.
Both?
Unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there.
The completionist in me wonders if there's something we could still
Like
do.
a toxicology screening. At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything, even if he was brimming with cocaine. But still, you should add a request.
Brimming with cocaine.
Write NA and add toxicology request.
Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging. Gastrointestinal.
He breathes a sigh of approaching relief. This is the last field on the list. He looks around, to the ground, a pool of feces
Digested
there.
semi-solid food in stomach. Voila.
He touches the corpse's bloated lower abdomen, briefly. Write it down and keep the voila.
What's next on the list?
Description of
Let's see.
injuries.
We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too.
Be thorough if you want maximum results.
What about the injuries we inflicted?
So we inflicted them?
This is a
You
team
mean
effort.
the spin-stabilized munition from a kill A990 muzzleloader lodged in his lung? That was not a team effort. I just missed my shot. Also, let's not mention it. Muddies the water.
But isn't that
Be
sloppy?
pedantic if you like, it doesn't matter. No one else is going to investigate this man's murder. And if they do, such details would only confuse them.
See? These pigs are fucking corrupt.
The boy nods
Why
approvingly.
don't you fuck him if you love him so much?
Now, injuries.
Bite marks.
Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted. And your opinion, officer?
Beneath the description, there are 2 boxes waiting to be ticked. It's B.
Agreed. Next injury?
Contusions.
So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury. a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
Non-fatal.
Right. Next.
Ligature mark. Or what's the 4th injury field for?
Nothing. Just in case.
Okay. Ligature
Dark
mark.
red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible. Think for a moment. There's time. Don't rush.
Okay, well, we already know, so. Lieutenant falls silent
A column
abruptly.
of cold air encircles you, rising slowly upward in the shape of a courtyard, bordered by cracked plaster, windows, seagulls perched on air conditioning units. A small green enclosure in the middle of a corral of tenements, Cape-side apartments, whirling in rags, and the fortress wall of Terminal B. Above it, a thin blanket of coastal stratus clouds. Higher yet, coalition airships guard over the 21 cordons of the zone of control. The air is crisscrossed with radio transmissions. The hair on your neck rises.
Was I right?
Why do you say that?
I'm serious. I don't think this was the injury that killed him.
Okay. Why don't you think it was fatal?
Why weren't his hands tied? A big man like this, I would tie his hands when marching him to the gallows.
Honestly, I'm not sure there weren't marks on his wrist. That part got blurry for me. The stench. But you are right, I was ready to call this. Now I think we should leave it empty, at least for the time being. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over.
How'd it go?
It was an irregular field autopsy. We did not establish cause of death, which is supposed to be the goal of an autopsy. But, personally, I do not see this as a parameter for success. We also requested a toxicological screening. That was thorough. The results should arrive in a couple of weeks, if we are lucky. I would not hold my breath.
What
we
else?
were thorough with the list of injuries, too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
Oh yeah, well done, Master Detective. Maybe a drink is in order?
Perhaps a drink is in order? Later,
No,
I mean?
you see, that worries me. You will die if you drink. You know that, don't you? You are proving a useful detective. The organization would miss you.
He wipes his forehead. What now?
I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg.
Rip out a copy of the autopsy.
For processing.
He looks at the dead man one more time, and then at the slip of red paper in his hand, then at the
You
corpse
tilt
again.
your head, also looking at the corpse.
Tell me something, dead man.
Shoot, Looney Rooney.
Oh, I guess
Come
we've already
back
talked
later,
about all that, huh?
Corporal. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
Okay, so we'll try this before putting a point into it. It's a white check, we can retry it. Search the body one more time thoroughly.
You run your hands over the victim's cold body, his limbs, his torso with its swollen organs. Maybe you should be more thorough.
Look in his pants
The
again.
genitals in his breeches continue to be unnoteworthy. You see the penis of a dead man. If you've seen it once, you've already got the picture.
Maybe if I touch it
There is no
again.
need. We have been thorough with the genitals.
Lieutenant looks
Do you
worried.
think we missed something?
Yes, there's something we're not seeing.
Okay, well, we are in livor mortis here. He is disintegrating. We need to refrigerate the body if we want to conduct another examination, and we need to do it fast.
Can't he just hang out here for a while
If
longer?
you want for this task to slowly become impossible, then yes. Otherwise, no. He's been hanging out far too long already. We need to ice him.
Okay, where do we find a fridge for the body?
It would have to be industrial in size. Let's start by asking Gart at the Whirling in Rags and the Fritz store down at the gates. If they don't know, but only if all else fails.
His voice trails off and his gaze settles on Kuno.
Fuck are you looking at, Beano man? You want a piece of the Kuno? Wanna get fucked?
Only if all else fails.
He stresses. Need to take another look at the body
Hurry.
first.
This is one task we cannot sideline. With every hour, whatever we are looking for will become harder to find.
Soon, you'll be looking for clues in a pile of sludge and bones.
Alright, we'll try one more time. Do we need to back out? I think I might need to back out in order to do it again.
The man is decomposing. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Alright, let's try one more time.
Your arm reaches out and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, dead flesh through the latex glove. It's right under the palm of your hand.
What is this?
His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a rubber spider, your gloved hand crawls on his features. Everything is silent, all around.
Crawl up his nostrils.
They are swollen shut. You need to really push to get in.
Yep, push him
Only
on in
the
there.
little one fits. The flesh changes shape as you bore in, searching for something in the cartilage.
The fuck is he doing?
You hear a voice squeak. It sounds very
The
far
thing
away.
you're looking for, it's not there. Crawl out, spider.
Put your fingers in his mouth.
The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop.
Open your eyes
A
and look.
vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rising from his throat. And there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate, you see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius, the edges appear darkened.
Fuck yeah.
Keep going.
Kuno nods, too. He takes a step closer.
Touch it with your finger
A
gently.
black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound.
Put it on
Your
in there.
index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem.
The fuck is happening?
Ah, shit, see?
Brainstem?
Yes, that's what this part is called. You've seen the drawings. You've studied them.
Feel around
The
first.
basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex. The funk soul brother at the back of his head has gone dark forever.
Push
Your
deeper.
yellow fingers slide into the remains of the limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres.
There's a cavity cut right between the
The
hemispheres.
lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper.
Fucking cavity, see?
Kuno's voice is hushed, pushed
Your
deeper.
fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow. All the muscles in your body harden. Time to enter him.
Okay, why'd you have to make it weird there? Alright. Wriggle on in.
Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly. Cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper until you feel it on the tip of your finger. Ice cold serrated metal. Its edges cut right through the latex and into your finger. The pain is barely noticeable under the adrenaline rush.
I feel a solid object right under the skull.
Can you get to it?
He searches his pockets for something. Inspect the skull first.
There's a tiny crack, a protrusion in the cranium, right in the back of his head. Your finger must be pointing straight at it, from the inside. The object that is in there stops just short of the skull, in the encephalus, knocking this tiny fracture into the cranium. This is the irregularity you felt before, the one that was too tiny to register consciously.
We have the makings of a very small exit wound here.
Lieutenant leans
Forget
closer.
about the fucking exit wound, Beano. The pig is wearing him like a fuck puppet.
Fish it out.
You pick the object between your index and middle finger. Feels sharp, like metal. You press your teeth together. Your jaw is clenched. All you need to do is just...
Slowly pull your finger. Actually, you know what? Whisper, I got it.
My pig's fucking got it?
What? What is it?
Slowly pull your fingers
The
out.
inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove. Sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth. The garden glove is covered in blood right up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower. A blossom made of lead.
Fucking beautiful!
A bullet.
The lieutenant puts the small bag marked evidence under it. Drop it in.
The bullet falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says,
A non-calibre. Rifle. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact.
Can I have it?
Of course. You deserve it.
Lieutenant drops the bag in your hand. It
We
feels
need to
light.
add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion color. Soft palate, back of mouth. High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound?
Sounds like heaven.
Opinion, fatal injury.
Goddamn
And
right.
one last thing. We can now fill in injury number 3. Ligament mark. Opinion non-fatal. Post-mortem. Treatment.
he's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death, and the hanging an attempt to conceal this fact.
The ligament mark, the fractured hyoid bone, it was all treatment.
Yes, and the belt around his neck, the hanging, even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead.
Dead dabba doop doop.
Dead.
Agreed.
I have had my doubts since you showed me the tracks. Why did they carry him over? Why not march him, I thought. There was no satisfying explanation. There have been other signs too, small things. We were right not to assign hanging as cause of death, as the perpetrators expected we would. No such luck for them.
Who would do this?
That's for us to find out. But this, it will make finding them just a little easier.
Why would anyone do this?
To hide something. The real killer, the real motivation, what really happened here.
I think I need to wash myself.
Oh, you really, really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rise should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening.
Maybe the bullet holds more answers?
Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
What happens
We put
next?
him in a bag and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. The body bag should contain the odor for the duration of the transport. I would drive him to processing, but it's too late to do that today. I'll do it first thing tomorrow. No problem. One more thing. This was really good work, detective.
Okay. Thank God that he didn't just decide it was time to take the body away. Kuno's gonna have a fucking heart attack.
Necromancer pig? That shit was dark. Going in there like that. Oh, brutal shit. Tell me.
He says, eyes full of
Kuno
admiration.
dies. You're gonna pick one out of his brain like that too? Kuno's gonna go out in a hail of bullets. Gonna look like a fucking porcupine.
I need a fridge to stash a body.
For the fuck imp. Good thing you asked the Kunmeister. Kuno knows a fridge. Perfect for freezing
I thought you would. Where is it?
Bacon Man's in a rush. But what's in it for the Kuno? What's the return on Kuno's investment?
Corpse for you? No. I don't think civic pride helps. I think that actually, like, reduces our chances. I'll repay you for this information one day. Right now, the clock is ticking.
Kuno's clock's not doing shit. Kuno's got a fuckload of time.
There's nothing on his wrist.
Don't believe him, Kuno. He just wants to use your fridge.
Okay. Convince him to spill the beans.
By killing in his territory,
No shit.
someone has openly challenged Kuno. It's in his best interest to put them in their place.
Some arrogant shit thinks he can kill in the Kuno's kingdom without asking the Kuno first? That sounds like lawlessness to me.
A dark flame smolders in Kuno's eyes as he ponders your argument. Wordless, like kings do.
This outlaw's fate is in your hands. Let's make an example of him. Help me locate him using fridge body technology.
Alright, Kuno hears ya. See that shit house over there?
He points to the collapsed building with the
A
bookstore.
cold comes over you as you glance behind him at the crumbling colossus there, casting a shadow on you.
Yeah, I see it. The big tall one behind
You
you.
gotta get in that shit. In there deep.
What do you mean, in there deep?
Check the fucking basement, pig. Don't you know anything? Always check the fucking basement, recon style.
The kid rolls his
There's
eyes.
a giant fridge down there. Fucking will fit, no problem. It looks like a white bird or some shit. Try not to piss yourself when you see it.
How do I get in the building again?
Through the bookstore. You gotta beg the book bitch. Used to be you could get in there through the doorbell, jam that shit. Book bitch changed that. Kuno doesn't beg, so Kuno doesn't go there anymore.
Beg the book bet.
Yeah, book bitch, beggar. You stupid or something?
He means the bookstore. We have to ask the proprietor of the bookstore.
See, the cloud gets it. Listen to your four-eyed friend.
Thanks,
You
Kuno.
didn't hear it from Kuno, pig. But don't forget where you heard it from.
He looks at you seriously.
Kuno owns you now, pig. You're Kuno's property.
Figure out what's going on with the Kuno.
It's not Kuno. It's Kuno S.
Interesting. How?
Kuno S is by far the worst of the two. Kuno has no problem being near you, but the other hides behind the fence, afraid for her life, like she's done something very bad. She came up with that psychopathic scheme of screaming for help before. Kuno just wanted to talk to you about his name. Kuno S was the one who wound him up and directed him. All in all, Kuno respects madness. You cannot hope to outdo her on that front. You must win yourself a few minutes with him alone.
Kuno.
Fuck you whispering about?
He whispers
He's
back.
whispering too. He's going with it. But watch what happens.
Fuck you whispering about!
If Kuno wants to whisper, he's gonna fucking whisper, okay? Let's whisper, pig.
He turns back to you and hunkers
This is
down.
it. You've got him. But be careful. You can still fuck this up. Don't make Kuno look bad in this.
Kuno, listen to me. She's trying to control you. We gotta get you out of here. Actually, you know what? Phew, I'm glad she's out of our hair. She's fucked up.
She's not fucked up. Everyone's fucked up. Stop judging shit.
He raises his voice but then lowers it
Wrong
again.
move. But he's whispering still. You haven't lost him. Just don't mess up again. Or you will. There are no guarantees here.
What's up with her?
Crazy. You don't know the half of it. She's not crazy. She's insane. Dangerous. She's smoked a man. She's done people in. Probably even pigs.
Stop talking to him! Kuno, I'm fucking warning you! You're gonna get us into shit!
She understands what you're trying to do.
Yo, see? Did Kuno not tell ya? Kuno told ya. Kuno talks to whoever he wants. Talk, pig. Kuno's got it under control.
He hunches
You
down
did
again.
it. They're separated. He's even turned his back to her, so she can't read his lips.
What do you mean she smoked
Kuno
someone?
means she killed someone. That's right. She's a killer. Like, actually a killer.
He stares at you
His
intently.
little green eyes are fixed on yours.
Really? Isn't she too small to overpower something?
Are you getting this?
Or someone?
You think I'm fucking telling you a joke here? How hard do you think it is to kill a fat ass? Sweet talk him, then knife him.
He pokes you in the gut.
She's probably killed a pig too. I mean, I'm pretty sure she has.
Okay, how many cops has she killed
Forget
then?
Kuno said that. Kuno was just shitting. Kuno was just running his mouth. Kuno's stupid like that.
He feels eyes on the back of his head. and
There's
stops.
something cold in the air, like water lapping against cold stones, or dripping in a hallway nearby. 3 years ago, there were shoes in the corner. The creature peers at you both from over the fence. There is something searching in her eyes. Fear.
You think she has anything to do with the dead man?
She would have liked to fuck him up, but she didn't. Kuno wasn't around, and C was with Kuno.
Where were
Look,
you?
Kuno's gonna put you at ease. We didn't do it.
He speaks the truth, my liege.
You said she's insane?
She's psycho. None of that kiddie psycho, cat burning shit. She does the real deal.
What's the real deal?
Snuff radio shit. Believe me, pig, you don't want to know.
What's the language she
Fuck
uses?
knows. She says it's the song of her people or some shit.
What people?
Crazy people. The fucking Nakis. I don't know.
Is she your sister?
Fuck no, she's not my sister. She's just a stray who got in. Like a mad dog or some shit.
Stray?
Yeah, she was just there.
He points at the apartment building behind the
What was
fence.
that, Kuno?
The little one twists her neck, looking at the
She
building.
was in the hallway. Dripping wet. By the fucking shoe rack. In the dark.
Kuno flinches, then lowers his voice even more. Why was she dripping wet?
Kuno's got no fucking idea. Her hair was all wet. I think she pissed on the floor too. She was there for 3 days, in the corner, every time Kuno went out.
You said she got in? How?
I don't know. Someone left the door open. Kuno comes home and she's sleeping under the desk, under the pile of clothes, like a dog.
What about your parents?
Kuno's dad doesn't give a shit. Doesn't even see her there. Or thinks it's fucking Kuno. Shit's all on Kuno.
He points at himself. How are you dealing with all this?
How's Kuno dealing? Kuno's dealing just fine. He doesn't need you fucking with any of it. C doesn't either. Kuno's got this shit under control.
You need backup. I'm here for you.
Listen. C is Kuno's go-to. Kuno's protecting her. You fuck with C, you fuck with Kuno. You threaten her, you threaten to take her away.
This is what it all comes down to. He needs you to take him seriously now.
I'm going to kill you. I'll run when you put the cuffs on her, sneak up on you later, and fuck you up. You understand?
The boy looks you in the eye, black pupils trying
He
to
may not
focus.
be able to do it, but he will try. Right now, he believes he will.
I can respect that.
Alright, now we can do business.
He wipes the sweat off
He's
his brow.
breathing heavily. That took something out of him.
Business?
Yeah? What do you want? Kuno can hook you up with...
He starts, no longer
Don't hook
whispering.
him up with shit, Kuno.
See, relax. He respects the Kuno. Kuno made him respect the Kuno. You respect the Kuno, you get all kinds of shit. Kuno's gonna get you hooked on illegal narcotics if you run a little errand for the Kuno. Get you hooked, pig. Get his hook in you. Then Kuno gonna get you hooking for more. Cash in big style. Pig hooker. That's right. Kuno's a candy store for pigs now. Get ready to be rewarded.
He concludes, spreading his hands like a baker presenting a selection of freshly baked pastries. What was that about running you an errand and illegal narcotics, Kuno?
Kuno gets it from his dad. Kuno and his dad are major suppliers. That's where Kuno gets his lightning on.
His eyes bulge, their veins reach out like tree branches.
Problem is, Kuno and his dad had a little falling out. Now junkies clawing at Kuno's door. Streets going mad. Kuno's got to throw his dirty popo man at it.
Okay.
Dirty popo man is you. In there is Kuno's violent dad on steroids. Kuno's dad does steroids and speed. If you can take him, you can have half of the speed.
Who's your dad, Kuno?
Kuno's dad is a fucking monster. He's the most violent man in Revachol. He doesn't give a shit about a single thing. He drinks too.
How much material are we talking
Like
about?
half.
He says very confidently. Half of what?
Baggy, but like in this vial.
But that's not very much at all.
What you talking about? Half a G? This shit is giant grade A shit. So clean you can barely see it.
You can barely see it because there's barely any.
I've made up my mind, Kuno, and this is what's going to
Okay.
happen.
Kuno's listening.
I'm going in there all guns blazing to get that speed, because I need it.
Alright, pig. You can plug him, but you can't stop him. It'll only buy you time. Kuno's violent dad's got Kuno's key, so you need to fuck your way in there. Go to the pier side, bang on the door till the cleaning gimp lets you in. That's how Kuno does it. Then you go to room 12 and kick down the door, police violence style. That's what Kuno does. And then it's action time. You're locked in the room with violent fuckhead. That's it. Next time Kuno sees you, you better have his shit.
What the hell are you signing us up for here?
I'm a bad addict cop. I'm going to get my fix.
Did you know I don't like bad addict cops? Almost no one in the RCM does.
He stares at you over his glasses. Alright, I'm
Kuno
off.
doesn't fucking care.
We know that about you, Kuno.
We should think about calling it a day, maybe. The nights are still miserably cold this time of year.
I haven't paid Gart for the
You
damages
should
yet,
take care of that, then.
but I don't have
Let's
the money.
talk to him anyway. An officer of the RCM shouldn't be sleeping in the streets. We'll figure something out.
Alright. Before we call it, we're going to check out the bullet. And then I'm going to go ahead and call it for the night, because I've already been pushing it longer than what I should be. The bullet mushroomed out on impact. It now looks more like a fanciful jacket button than something that could pierce skin, flesh, and bone.
The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has filled out the label on the bag with the item number, case number, and date and location the bullet was found.
What do I do with you, Bullet?
What?
Lieutenant steps closer. I said, what do I do with you,
Well,
Bullet?
if I was the bullet, which I'm not, I would say find the weapon that shot me.
Good
If
idea.
we find who owns it, we will have likely found who used it, possibly to kill our victim. In conclusion, the more we know about this bullet of yours, the better.
Feel the bullet through the bag.
The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag.
Inspect the bullet
The
closer.
jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter.
Look at the
You
jacket.
can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairlines, linear. It feels standard.
And the core?
It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound.
What can you say about the bullet so far?
It's a jacketed bullet, close to 5 millimeters in diameter.
A jacketed bullet. Okay. It would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle, not from a muzzleloader, like those typically found on the streets of Martinez.
We were right. This came from a serious weapon.
Even the RCM uses ordinary unjacketed conical bullets. This is strange. Very strange. I like this, officer. Strange means unique. Unique means incriminating. We need to find the gun that shot it.
Try to determine what kind of weapon.
You can't remember what happened last week. What makes you think you're going to remember arcane firearm models?
Fair enough. Alright. Finished internalizing that white morning thought. Oh, he's not going to read it to us. And the little, excuse me, and the little guy gets smaller and smaller as you rise above the dollhouse world. You see him out in the snow and on the streets and in the shop on the corner, and finally in a matchbox house. Sitting by the window, white flowers on the windowsill. You can smell them from up here. It's awful. A white morning, a modern death, divorce, or something similar. All you can do is put more distance between you and him, and make him smaller. Make him less you. Plus 20 to zoom out distance. All motorics learning caps raised by 1. Yeah, no, I definitely didn't get that one last time. But I don't think that I busted open the secret compartment in the ledger last time. And if I did, I don't think I pursued the the chewing gum as far as I did this time. Because I definitely don't remember getting a title screen. Didn't know there were benefits like the bigger zoom outs. Yeah, no, I didn't really take the best notice of all the different bonuses that you get from the different thoughts and everything my first time around. But yeah, no, they all have like unique thing. Like there's also penalties while you're like learning the thoughts a lot of the time. Like you'll get like certain like debuffs while you're walking around internalizing them. But yeah. Long way home. Long way home. That just raises up like learning caps. Most of them just do stuff like that, but like some of them just have very unique ones. I can't think of any others off the top of my head, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call it for the night. It's late and gotta get up early. Tomorrow night when I hop on, if I'm feeling a little bit more energetic, then we'll hop on with the late night horror stream and get back into first playthrough of Resident Evil 2. And if not, then I'll probably hop back into this. Friday it'll be FromSoft Friday. We'll either be fighting Radon and Elden Ring, or we'll just be like wandering around and trying to make sure that we didn't miss anything in the rest of the DLC. And then Saturday, Souls Like Saturday with Liza P. Hey, you have a good one too, man. And, yeah, shouldn't say man. Have a good one too. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Yeah. I hope it was cool hanging out and seeing like different parts of the game. Maybe I'll see you around again sometime. But yeah, if there's anybody else hanging out in the background, thanks for being here as well. Yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful night. This has been A Boy Named Sue coming at you live straight from Big Potato, and I will see y'all tomorrow.